wonderful viewers, welcome to your darling station, Living TV. Welcome to another edition of our Nigeria Today. Nigeria Today is a current affairs program of the Living Television. And I'm sure you are going to enjoy today's own. Without taking much of your time, from my far left, I have our discussant. From my far left, I have Ambassador Obi Hart. Ambassador Obi Hart is a movie director and also an actor. Ambassador, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And I also, after him, I have Honorable Tony Agbanyem. Honorable Tony Agbanyem was a one-time local government legislator and also a public affairs analyst. Honorable Tony, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I describe it as a national crisis because he that goes to the equity must go with clean hands. A few days ago, federal government went to court against us and got a judgment. And the court told us to obey first before appealing. The same federal government. And today, there is a judgment against the federal government. They've now disobeyed the court, now they are appealing. So the whole thing borders on what I can describe as raw power, exhibition of raw power. You know, our leaders are setting a very bad precedent. And one thing I know in this part of the world is that we learn bad things easier than the good ones. What I want to remind President Buhari and his cohorts and his people, his cabinet, they have just, even though within 24 hours to 29th of May 2023, you can still take a decision and it will hold. But we want to tell them that power is transient. I don't think he felt good by the time he left or he was pushed out in 1985. I don't think he felt good about it, the way he was treated. Well, all he had in mind to do, and he was stopped abruptly. By the time he will leave in 2023, and tomorrow somebody from Castena or Daura was given an acquittal judgment by the judiciary, and the court says, and the plaintiff says no. He will not go. Hold him back. We want to appeal. I don't know how he will feel.
He will be president in 2020.
That is what I'm saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying. The plaintiff. So I don't know how he will feel. Let's think about tomorrow. You know, it's as if it's like in 1983 when those that stopped Abiola from being president, if they had known that the world would still be here till today, they could have allowed him. Abiola could have been history today. Even if after ruling the country could have been a history. You know, could have been history. But look at the crisis that cost us. We are still trying to recover from that unfortunate incident of June 12 election cancellation. So, Nnamdi Kanu's issue, I'm not talking because I have the blood and water of an Igbo man in me. I am an Igbo man. There's no two ways about it. I'm a Biafran. Few days ago, some young men were stopped from putting Oduduwa Republic stickers on their vehicles in the West. And they resisted it. They said, no, you can't do that. You know, choice for freedom, choice for liberation, choice for self-actualization is not illegal. I can decide not to answer my father's name. He will stop me. After all, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, yes, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali felt bad the way his brothers treated him during the Vietnam War. And came back and said, no, I'm not going to be a Christian any longer. Cassius Clay to the bush. I am now Muhammad Ali. And his father, nobody protested it. Nobody took him to court. That is why they should allow people to decide on what to do. It's like marriage. If your wife says no, it is only the living that will answer either a husband or a married woman. If the woman says no, I want to go, I want to leave, you know, this marriage is no longer suitable for me, you allow it. That should be the same situation here. Down here are people we are killed, we are maimed, we are dead for just bringing up a flag. A flag.
That's it.
At the end of the day, people were killed and all sorts of things happened. So what I'm saying is that we are setting a bad precedent, a bad tradition in this country. Our children are watching. It is like, it's like a movie. Shagari was one day here in Aba. That was a day Shagari was in Aba. Yes. Isn't it? Yes. Today, where is Shagari? History. Yes. As if it never happened. So one day, Buhari will become history. And all he left for us, because we learn very fast, and the bad ones more. That is what we are going to practice by the time he leaves. So there, by the time he becomes an ancestor, I know he will he will regret all he did there the time he became president. So what I'm saying is that the rule of law must be obeyed. Dividend of democracy doesn't bother on infrastructure, roads, hospitals, and all that. The real meaning of dividend of democracy is the rule of law, respect for the rule of law. That is the real meaning, the real benefit of democracy.
All right, Ambassador Hart, this is coming from the presidency. You know, when you talk about Nigeria today, you talk about there are two major things. You know, there are two major persons, so to say. You have the president and the presidency. Now, from the federal government, who once, if we are talking about the president, who once told the nation that he will allow, he does not want to interfere with the rule of law. But when the Ohanese visited him and asked him to release him, he said he wanted the law to take its course.
Yes.
And now today, the law has taken its course, and they are appealing the federal, judge, the Federal Minister for Justice, Malami, is not a court. And the competent court of appeal for that matter, now has set him free and they are going to court. What is your take on that?
Well, I would say it's a sad situation, just like the Honorable said. It's a sad situation where a competent court gives a judgment and the president or the presidency will not obey to it. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, said he will not interfere in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. That whatever the court rules, that is what he was going to obey. Then we will find ourselves in a situation where the court has already given judgment that this young man has been discharged and acquitted. You will now find out that the same president that says that he's not going to interfere with the court judgment is the person standing against what the court has already ruled. So when you talk about the presidency and the president, what differentiates the presidency and the president is just the same thing. Either the presidency or the president. The major thing is for you to obey what
the presidency are those who are working for the president.
They are part of the organization or the presidency, so they must obey the court judgment. And the situation we find ourselves here in the country, just like the Honorable said, if you leave a particular track record, other people that are coming behind you will follow it. And it is very, very bad. The situation we find ourselves in this country. So,
all right, but Honorable, what do you think, outside setting a very bad precedent, what do you think this is going to actually elicit, further, this action of the federal government?
Well,
considering the judges, and when you talk about this, there are 3 justices, and none disagreed with each other on this. And then, what is it? What is this? What is this leaving behind in the legal luminary and also in the justice?
At the end of the day, what they're trying to do is to mesmerize the judiciary. The judiciary will, at the end of the day, turn to a toy. Nobody will take. If you see a lawyer, it doesn't make any meaning to. Before now, everybody respects a lawyer. Before now, everybody respects the judge. Now, judges give judgment and it is not respected. That makes you a mere toy. And it will also result into people resorting to self-help. What are you going to police to do? What are you going to court to do? Just take your knife and face your opponent and sort it out with him. So going to court will not make any meaning, because if you go to court and get a judgment, it will not be executed. The defendant can go all out to do everything, particularly if it is politically connected, to mess up whatever thing the judiciary, has put in place. What we are trying to say is that people should stand up and start saying something. The civil society organizations, the lawyers themselves should start protesting. From the customary court up to the Supreme Court, they should start protesting. The judges should stay back in their houses and say, we are not going to court any longer until this one is respected. How can you tell us to obey? We gave a judgment in your favor and ask us to obey first before going to appeal. As you now accept it. Now it is your turn to do you wanted the other person to do for you, which they did. Now you won't do it. You want to show power. So what we are saying is that for the sake of tomorrow, for the sake of Nigeria, for the sake of this judiciary that is the last hope of the common man, where everybody runs to, whether the lawyers call it pro bono, even if you don't have money, they can also help you get justice. And that made it the last hope of the downtrodden. Please, we are appealing that let the rule of law be respected. Let there be a mutual respect for all the tiers of government, whether it is the legislature, whether it is the judiciary or the executive. And we are saying that the rascality in the executive arm of government in this country is one too many. We are all getting worried about this whole thing. The other time, somebody said that if anything happens to this democracy today, it is only the legislature that will suffer, because the time the military was here, the executive was functioning, the courts were there, the lawyers were going to court, but the legislature ceased. So let the executive, from the local government, the executive chairman of the local government, to the governor, to the president, let them drop this idea of exhibiting naked power, raw power. We are in a democracy. This is no longer the days of the cowboys. Democracy has come to stay. The rule of law has come to stay. And our young men are learning very fast. It's no longer those days when they're interested in collecting 200 naira from politicians. They are not interested. They want to participate. What happened the last time INEC was organizing the voter registration update? A lot of youths, came into it. A lot of youths were, they spent their own money. They were spending their own money, to mobilize INEC, mobilize citizens to come and register. So my worry is the young men. They are watching what these older people like us are doing.
Okay, Ambassador Bihat, what do you think will be the after effect of what the federal government, if they fail to heed to the appeal by the Nigerians, their continuous insistence on appealing Nnamdi Kanu's release, what do you think will happen?
You see, what they are calling for is the effect will be on majorly just like when we had a SARS protest in Lagos. Because when you overdo things, you will find out that the youth will now get angry, and the effect will now fall down on the government. Not only that, on our infrastructure. You saw what happened during the EndSARS. There were a whole lot of protests all over the Federation, and houses and other offices and other places were burnt down. You find out that the effect will be much on the community and their society at large. So I will plead with the government to do that which is right, so that there won't be any sort of problem in Nigeria.
All right, the human rights activist and the prominent member of the INABA, Mike Ozakome's son, has condemned the federal government on its decision to keep judges in different levels of court in the country on the same salary for more than 15 years. Honorable.
Well, you can see what you're saying. We are like, I don't know, the country is confused completely. You can imagine a judge who is also asking for a better welfare, giving a judgment against somebody who is also, a paycheck worker. You can imagine that. So what it is that the same judiciary that gave what I can call judgment against us, that was asking for a better welfare, a better working environment, will maybe soonest, today, tomorrow, come protesting. So on which moral basis are they going to do that? They don't have to complain.
No, even as we speak, some judges in Lagos State had to sue the state government for owing them pensions.
You see? So when ASU was demanding for their welfare, everybody kept quiet. You know, people were worried. Some people were even bullying ASU. What was ASU asking for? Improve our take-home, improve the environment, everything, all the infrastructure in all the universities, both state and federal government has all dilapidated. They have all turned into mission materials. We need an ICT equipment. That's all they're asking for. They're not saying give us this money, let's take home. Just scale up our salary a little bit. The so-called 30,000 naira minimum wage cannot take anybody home any longer. Even 100,000 naira, if you have, I just have a family of two, a boy and a girl in my house, just two, the brother demised, me and just my two children. My brother, I know what I earn as an heir to a federal legislator. Within a space of 1 week, my brother, the money has disappeared. I'll be watching myself and searching whether someone has deposited me. You know, so what are they saying here? The 30,000 naira minimum wage is no longer, you know, visible. There's nothing we can do about it.
In all the states.
Okay, good. Then talk about the judges that have a bigger responsibility, and you are giving them peanut, and you want them to work, you know, to the best of their ability. It's not possible. So what we are saying is that when evil, you know, continues to dwell in the land, the best thing to do is for the wise men to start talking. All these things has been here unattended, untackled, because nobody wants to die. Everybody's keeping quiet. Yet, you want to go to Israel. At the end of the year, everybody will rush to Israel and come back with something attached to the back of your name, JP. Human beings made it. Everybody wants to rush to South Africa. Crime and all that has made South Africa unlucrative now. In the last 10 years, including you and myself, want to go to South Africa. Who made it? Just few individuals. Some people suffered. It's like that across the world. Any environment you see that things works, go to China, go to Singapore, somebody, one person will stand the second, the third, and the place will be liberated. It is time we start doing exactly what some people did here. People like Nnamdi Kanu is doing today. You know, his family has been mesmerized, his welfare, his health, everything has been compromised, his freedom and all that. That is the kind of thing everybody should start sacrifice. Volunteerism. We should speak out this time. Lawyers should start protesting. Civil society organizations should start protesting. ASU should go back to strike. Churches should even close down. Let nobody go to church any longer. Let's stay back in our houses. Mosques should close. Markets close. Banks. Let there be anarchy in the country. And we're saying this is what we want, government. If you don't do it, let's remain like this.
All right, Ambassador, what's your take on this? About the judges for 15 years, nobody has looked their way in terms of the salary increment and so on.
That is the situation we find ourselves in this country, honestly. Very bad situation. And what the government are doing is not just good, just like the Honorable said. A time will come when there will be much problem in the country. Are you getting me? People need to rise up. People need to rise up and agitate for their right. A situation where you find yourself, you cannot get money to even pay your children's school fees and stuff like that. These judges need to be, they are the last hope of the downtrodden, just like he said before. The last hope of the poor. So these people need to look into their welfare, need to look into, and they will increase their salary so that they will give us better performance in their jobs.
All right, Governor Nyeso Wike of Rivers State has vowed to always fight for his belief. According to him, he is not a born-again Christian. Whoever that challenges him, you throw it back on that person. So the idea of forgive, let God judge is not in his nation. He's ready to fight back. It is.
Well, he's an adult. Every adult is entitled to his opinion. And probably experience has made him take that decision, because some people are very ungrateful. They don't appreciate, no matter how much they offend you and you forgive them, they'll come back the next day to do the same because they know that, oh, you're soft-hearted. Oh, God beg him, you'll always forgive. No, he's not a stone-heart man. You know. So I don't blame Wike. Experience may have led him taking that decision. And in a place like Nigeria, where gullibility and no respect for each other is the order of the day, you know, because here, our belief is that the only man that should behave well is the born-again Christian. The only man that should not, that should be patriotic. If you're not,
the man that should forgive.
Yes, he's the born-again Christian. So every other person can go ahead and do what he wants to do. The only man that can come to a traffic junction and wait for the traffic light to flag him down or ask him to go is the born-again Christian. If you're not born again, oh, just drive off. What is your business? The only man who should be watched if he's smoking cigarette or smoking in their hemp is that man who said he's not a Christian. The only man who should be watched, whether he's drinking a bottle of beer or taking more than, even the Bible says that you should take just very little. Whether he has taken more than one, he's the born again. He said he's born again. Now he's taking 3 bottles of stout. You know, so that is our mentality here. Every other person can do whatever that he wants to do, but in other climes, it's not like that. That is why those countries are functioning. If you go to China, you don't need the police to tell you that you've offended, you've contravened the traffic law. You know, you don't need anybody to tell you. You know what to do. In places like China, commit a $1 million offense. $1 million is too much money. You know, you are dead. You are a dead man. Somebody told me something. You know, he read in one article, and I searched and got it. Where the head of Nigerian Drug Regulatory Agency, NAFDAC, appealed to Chinese government, asking them that drug manufacturers in their country are bringing in poison in Nigeria in the name of drugs, that they should try as much as possible to regulate it. They're talking about fighting to save human life here. And Chinese government now reviewed their laws and said that any manufacturing pharmaceutical company in China that produces anything that is poison-like shipped to Nigeria is going to face execution. Do you know Nigerian law? If you are caught bringing in those poison, you go to 6 months imprisonment or 200,000 naira option of fine. So ask your next question.
All right, Ambassador. Yes, you had it. Wike said he's not a born again Christian. He believes do me, I do you. So what do you believe in that kind of act, the law of Moses?
You know, in our country, Nigeria, that is the situation we find ourselves into. Because mostly, if you are a Christian, you somehow, your character will portray Christ. And you know, Christianity means behaving like Jesus Christ. So when we came made that statement, what he's saying, it is for tat. Are you getting me? So there's no way you look at a country whereby everything is going down and you expect him to behave like a Christian. Do me, I do you. That is what he wants, and that is what is obtainable even in this country. You find out there are different laws for different people even in Nigeria. Even as an Hausa man or a Fulani man, you have a different law for them, different judgment. Even as an Igbo man, just like the case of Nnamdi Kanu. there's a judgment, release this man. And they wouldn't obey that judgment. Had it been the Fulani man they say release, you find out that they will release the Fulani man. So you find out what he means in essence is, do me, I do you. And that is what we want in Nigeria. Because when you begin to play that Christian something, you will discover that your right will be trampled on. Mm-hmm. So I think I will agree with him. All
right. The presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, suspends campaign. His decision is bettered by the plight of the citizens who are affected by the flood that caused havoc in some states of this country. And Peter Obi also has called on other presidential candidates, especially that of the APC and the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Jagaban, as Ahmed Tinubu. He has asked them to do that, to also do the same. And Honorable, what's your take on this?
Do they need to be told? Can they feel like human beings? Can they be empathic for once? Peter Obi has shown a sense of human being. He has shown he's godly. He has shown he's a good thinker. He has shown capacity. He has shown that if given more responsibility, he will deliver. If he had not said this, last night I was watching PDP, my party's publicity secretary, who was concurring with Peter Obi. Because Obi has said it. If Obi had not said it, they will move on. What is their business? Go ahead and perish. That's your business. They are not even thinking about the perennial rainfall we have now that may stay between now and it's not even possible that the rain will subside, by the time the election will be on. And some of those areas taken over by this flood are polling centers and polling units. They are not thinking that way. So you can see that Obi has shown capacity, and I want to applaud him, I want to appreciate him, and asking him to do well. I'm a PDP man, but I'm obedient. If they like, let them chase me away from the party. I'm not bothered. You don't need to be a politician to get rich. All the houses in Aba, from number 1 Azikiwe down to where it stops, is not owned by politicians. All the shops in Ariara Market are not owned by politicians. This house is for a 4-story building. Is it owned by a politician? No. So you can still survive without politics. We are just there to see how we can be part of the system and make inputs to better the society. So we have to speak to power. P2B is the best thing that has ever happened in the Nigerian political space in the last 10 years. So what you're saying is that he has done the right thing and they should comply. Everybody, even politicians everywhere, not just the presidential flag bearers, everybody. He said, no matter how little, you spent 100 billion naira to buy from PDP 40 and all the rest of it. Just down to the House of Assembly, forms and all that. Let them contribute little money across the country and run to those, disaster areas and see how they can help these our brothers and sisters out of these, critical condition.
All right, Ambassador, what is your assessment of Obi's action?
Well, his assessment is commendable because the government, when you talk about government and governance, it boils down to the people. You must have the people at your heart. It's not just about politics, going for campaign, this and that. You must have a human heart. You must have feeling for the people you want to govern. So Obi has done well even by just making that statement that he's withdrawing his campaign all over, and also pleading with the other parties to do likewise. He has showed capacity. He has showed that he is a human being, that even the citizen is at his own heart. And such a human being or such a person, when you give him power, you will discover that he will deliver. So I want to doff my hat for him for saying that.
All right, shortly before we go on break, if I were not in PDP, you will see me working for Peter Obi of Labour Party. Governor Tom of Benue State said this, and he also asked Nigerians to weigh the 3 major candidates. That is Peter Obi, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Atiku. But on his own, I think both the body language and what he said, that if he were not in PDP, so that he wouldn't be accused of anti-party, that he would have worked for Peter Obi.
What?
And you made a similar statement.
That's what I'm saying. I've been singing it all over from day one. Even when addressing people, I tell them, how I feel about 2020. It's a matter of persons. It's a matter of credibility. It's not a matter of party. So, Tom has indirectly, told my line. It's like he watched this program. So, Samuel Tom is obedient. He's a party man, but because he's holding a position, I'm not holding any anyway. I'm not holding any serious one. Nobody gives me any vote or security vote and all that. So what I got is just a party allowance. So because of the votes he collects every month, he would want to protect the platform with which he got there. So let me tell you that Samuel Autumn is working for PDP. No doubt about that. I don't want him to make well to tell his people all over his followers. Well, he's contesting an election. We know he wants to go to the Senate. And I know.
As we conclude on this, I also want you to also add it with what Obasanjo did at that time by relinquishing his seat to P2B,
yes,
and said he has done his what he was supposed to.
Yes, handsome of means.
And also what he also said that 2023, if we miss it, that means we are not taking our destinies in our hands.
Yeah.
So we should be careful.
I said it here last that if every other young man within my age is saying what I'm saying, saying the same thing, that two things: packing your bags and holding your PVC. Yeah. If at the end of the day, P2B fails to be the president of this country, the bags are packed already, and you zoom off. Cotonou is calm. I went there last time to buy a car, very calm. Ghana is moving on a light speed. You know, even mud houses in Ghana, I join prepaid meters. Yeah, I know you guys are using inverter battery here. 4-story building. So you can see where we are.
5-story building.
You can imagine. So some of these small countries around us are more developed than, they are more serious than what we're doing here. You can see where we are battling with electronic voting and electronic transfer of where countries like Benin Republic and Ghana have already moved on. We are even Namibia of yesterday. You know, they've all moved on. They are all in ICT. They want things put straight. They want things made fair and clear. Here we are still marolling. You know, so Obasanjo has done his bit. He has pulled his strengths, made every contact across the country and across the globe, and told the world, this is the man that can take this country for real to the next level. This man is not coming here to give us cassava, agbado, and ewa. This man is coming to set what is called administrative and political moral standard. With this man, this country will get to the next level. This man will come in here, the 11 presidential fleets, jets we have there, P2B doesn't need them. He will sell all of them, mark today. Yeah. And he will be the first Nigerian president to board a commercial flight to his official visit to anywhere.
All right, before, like I said, before we go on break, Ambassador Hart, what is your assessment of this Benue governor's statement? That if not, that is in PDP, which he has utterly admitted.
No, what I would say, he has already made up his mind to work for a good man, for a better man, for a real change. Not just change, for a real change. Just like what the Minister of Labour said when they were interviewing him. They asked him, among Peter, Obi, and Tinubu, who are you going to vote? He said he will not say who is going to vote until he gets there. He said Peter Obi have performed
and they picked it against him.
Yeah.
Picked it against him.
Peter Obi has performed very well, so as Tinubu, but he's not going to tell them who he will vote until he gets there. So, what is
that's exactly what Otam said. Yes.
All right, our wonderful viewers, we are going to go on a very short break. If we come back, Nigeria Today continues. Don't go away. Keep watching Living TV. glad you're still there watching Living TV. We're back. This is still Nigeria Today. And we are continuing with our discussion. But remember, you can always call us, tell us where you're calling from, and then make your contributions or ask questions. Remember, the number is still 091-682-84994. Take it again, 091-682-84994. You can call us, make your contributions, or ask questions, if any. Yeah, moving forward. There is this statement that is credited to the presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, saying that when he was addressing the Arawa joint meeting, that there is no northerner that needs the Yoruba or the Igbos to become the president of this country. Is your party?
What is that name they call Atiku?
Atiku Abubakar.
There's one thing they call him, unifier.
Yeah, exactly, unifier.
So by that statement, is he actually unifying this country?
Let's take this call. Hello. Hello, good morning. You're welcome to Living TV. This is our program, Nigeria Today. Your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution or question.
Yes, I'm calling from Yola.
Yola. Go ahead. Hello? Oh, we lost him. He was calling from Yola. Okay.
Yes. They said my party's presidential candidate is a unifier. Good and fine. And we've seen it. How much he's going to unify Nigeria. Unable to unify his party. Unable to stoop.
Hello?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, it is said that you stoop to conquer. Atiku has tried his hands so many times and ended up being a vice president of Nigeria, and that is enough to have contributed in the development of this country. He must not be the president of this country. And if we must be one, if Nigeria must be united, if we must be indivisible, such statements should not come from such a statement like Atiku. What else do you call hate speech? The hate speech Buhari talked about, which he himself started fanning the embers of hate speech. By the time he told us that those that gave him 5% of votes, he's not going to do anything for them. It's possible that those 5%ers are not Nigerians. What else do you call hate speech? That is the man that flagged off hate speech in 2015 and later came back to, preach a campaign against it. That's exactly what the so-called unifier of Nigeria is doing here. A northerner has been a president for 8 years, and it is said that this will be going south and north. And in 2015, when Goodluck wanted to go again, they said no. Some of us, I personally voted against Goodluck. I'm a PDP man, founding member. But I said no, we have to be fair. This exhibition of raw, naked power it won't pay us any good. And they not took over. 8 years. Another northerner from the same tribe, the same Fulani man. Oh goodness me, we have to start thinking like human beings. Atiku shouldn't have made that statement. Nothing will divide this country other than exactly the way he's going.
Okay.
He's so desperate, himself and the other man that said he's done. They are very desperate. I'm not saying because P2B is from here, but I'm saying that P2B is a pan-Nigerian.
Okay. Ambassador, you had the statement that they don't need the Igbos or the Yorubas. That's Atiku's statement to become a president.
Yeah, his statement is it's
Very expensive.
very expensive.
Very expensive.
Because honestly, when you look at it, there's no way you wouldn't need the Igbo or Yoruba to become the president of the country. Except you just want to rig the election, honestly. As a unifier, what does it mean? To unify the groups, not just the 3 tribes in the country, but other smaller ethnic groups.
Peacemaker.
Yes, as a peacemaker. And for you to make such statement, you will observe that this man is not even ready to be the president. Honestly. Just like what Tinubu said. It is my turn to be president. It is not your turn. Are you getting me? Because when you look at Peter Obi is not saying it is his own turn to be the president. He's out to serve the country. He's out to unify. He's out to bring the country together. When you look at Nigeria, when you travel all over the world now, when you say you are in Nigeria, people look at you as if, I don't know, they will stand you at a particular place, even at the airport. You see the immigration man, when you bring out, you flag out your green white passport, they say stand here because of the country. Corruption, everything. So this is a man that is coming to put those things in place. We need to embrace it. Forget Atiku. You don't need the Igbo man. You don't need the Yoruba man. Time will come when you will need them and you won't see them. So that statement is expensive.
All right, before we go ahead, it is important to remind us that Living TV, whatever statement made here is owned by the discussants themselves and has nothing to do with the Living TV. It is important to know that. And also that the Living TV does not belong to any political party. You know, we stand aloof of our own as a media house. All right, having said this, as the crisis rocking PDP deepens, Governor Nyesom Wike has said that those backing the party national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, has not seen anything compared to what's coming next from him.
Yeah. The point is that we've gotten to a situation where things are not changing for good. I can remember in a country they call Tanzania, the Minister for Housing resigned merely because of a building collapse. He resigned. It doesn't happen here. If we
it also happened in Lagos, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, a few days ago. Yes, okay, for the first time. Good and fine. The man is not to be, written in the Guinness Book of Records. He has tried for the first time in Nigeria. So, Iyorchia Ayu should toe the path of honor and do the needful. Because what is going on in PDP will affect everybody. Particularly...
Honorable, before you go on, would you liken to what is happening also in PDP? Marry it with Atiku's statement of having nothing to do. The presidential candidate from the north and national chairman also from the north.
That is where I'm going. That's what I'm heading to.
Okay.
You cannot, common sense. Because you need the votes here and there. You need votes from across the country. So because of our nature here, where the sharing formula has been the method here. Had it been here in the United States of America, we wouldn't have wondered ourselves a situation where George Bush Jr. was the president and the younger brother a governor, the father a former president, and nobody coughed, and they moved on. A situation where Clinton was a two-term Attorney General in Arkansas, became two-term governor in Arkansas, from a very poor minority state, became one of America's best presidents ever. And the wife, all the way from Arkansas, came to New York and became a senator. You can imagine that. It can happen here. Because the sharing formula, the federal character has been part of us. It should be respected. Why can't Iyorchia Ayu be patriotic for once? Why can't he throw in the towel and say, to save this country from calamity, to save this party from total collapse, let me toe the path of honor? He won't do it. Well, I don't blame him. I don't blame Iyorchia Ayu. Excuse me. There are no jobs in Nigeria. So if he loses the one he has, who is going to employ him? So the man should go ahead and hold the thing. Let him fight on with Wike, and let's see how it will end. Probably somebody will be a beneficiary of this whole fight. The internal fight. Somebody is going to be a beneficiary of it. No doubt about it. But for the future of this country, for the unity of this country, if we are still talking about one Nigeria, if we still believe in that sharing formula, federal character where the North holds this, the South holds the other one. Your child should bow and go.
Okay.
Respectfully.
Ambassador Hata, the APC is accused of the same party ticket. And now this what is happening in PDP. Don't you think that both the PDP and the APC, they're almost facing the same problem?
Sure, they are facing the same problem. Because when you look at it, it's a northern Muslim ticket, let's say. And for equity, like a country like Nigeria, where you have about, say, 50% or Muslim, 50% or Christians, let's say, they should also look at it. But you find out that they didn't do that. They took a Muslim ticket as their presidential candidate and also a Muslim as their vice. It doesn't order well with a country like Nigeria. And it's really going to affect them because even I think there's a time, just like what happened, I think 2015, when Buhari came in. Tinubu was supposed to be the vice. But just because of the Muslim ticket, he has to bring in Osibanjo. Then why now? When he got to his own turn, he didn't even look at it. He brings in a Muslim man to be his vice. Just the same thing.
Yeah, compared with the ticket of national chairman, North, and the presidential candidate, North, of PDP.
It's just the same thing.
Which Wike
is battling. Yeah, it's just the same thing because Wike wanted you to step down, and he's not doing that, and that is the hope now.
All right, PDP has enough youth to counter obedient movement. Okowa's said that is the vice president of the contesting vice president of PDP.
What do you expect Okowa to contest in an election? A very critical one for that matter. So he's just trying to give himself hope. In his own delta, he will lose. In Asaba, he will lose. So the man will not do any other thing. Don't expect him to start. Now on the table, if it works with what INEC told us, my brother, a whole lot will happen electorally. No doubt about it, and as Asaba man, we say they are our brothers. You understand? But we are saying, Atiku from the north. Common sense should have asked him, should have told him, should have made him know that the other place, what he should have done. If Atiku had brought a vice president from the east, from core east, core Igbo man as vice president, you understand? It could have made some level of impact.
PDP would have had that person.
Yes, it could have made some level of impact. So you can see he's facing so many battles. Atiku is facing so many battles. You know, when he is talking about the South thing, giving South a sense of belonging, then the Igbos are saying, oh, Atiku doesn't value us. And look at him again, going there in Kaduna to tell his people that he don't need an Igbo man to be president. He don't need a Yoruba man to be president. The man is trying to rock his boat on daily basis. You know, trying to ground his flight on daily basis. You know, so to the best of my knowledge, what I was saying, both this Muslim ticket, the Atiku utterances, the North chairmanship position of PDP, the northern candidate of PDP, all of them worked for good to them that are obedient.
All right, Ambassador, do you think the PDP, just like they claim, do you think the PDP have enough youth to outsmart the obedient movement?
I don't think so. You've heard from the Honorable what you just said. Most of the youths now want change. And through change, you find out that most of the youth are rooting for Peter Obi and nothing else. Even the PDP people are equally rooting for
Peter Obi.
Just you have had it now. So most of the youths are rooting for Peter Obi. There's no way. They don't have any youth that will vote for them.
Okay, let us, before we call it or cap the camera for today, one Mr. Ike Chukwuamechi wrote in through Vanguard saying, I am not a lawyer, but in writing this article, I spoke to learned friends of mine who is unanimity held that President Buhari's government has no legal beam to hang its jaundiced interpretation of the appeal court judgment that discharged the leader of the IPOB Nnamdi Kanu of terrorism. He is standing to say that they don't have any right, both the president and the
local standard, that's what I call it.
To question
interpret
that except obeying it.
That's the thing. If a judgment is given against you, what you have to do is to obey that judgment, obey that court order. That is what the law says, not you trying to tell the court the meaning of the judgment, whether it is discharged or acquitted, or whether discharged and not acquitted. Not you. Obey what the court has said. Release means allow him go.
Let him go.
You understand? So, at the end of the day, National Security Council has now turned itself into the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And those who will be president in 2027 and 2031 are watching. Let us see how it goes. But I know that if nothing is done, we would have succeeded. All of us, from the civil society, the traditional rulers, the clergy, the politicians, the lawyers, students, market men and market traders, industrialists, if we fail to do something, if we fail to speak out, demonstrate, show our stand in support of that judgment. Not because Nnamdi Kanu is involved, not because he's an Igbo man. In the first place, being an Igbo man, is it an offense? No. Oh, goodness me. We are looking at it from the Nigerian perspective. Nnamdi Kanu is a Nigerian. If it is a man from Sokoto, we could have also, done the same thing.
The offense also is committed against Nigeria.
Yes.
Not an individual.
You see, if it is from Oyo, I could have also, analyzed it this way. Everybody should stand up now and say no to injustice, to disobedience to the rule of law. It will wreck this country, morally, socially, politically. So that's my take.
Okay. Hello? Yes, this is Nigeria. Speak up, please. This is Nigeria Today of the Living TV, a current affairs program. So tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution. Huh?
Yes. It's Dogara calling. I'm calling from Yola.
Okay, Dogara calling from Yola. Okay, go ahead.
Dogara calling from Yola.
Yes, we've heard you. Go ahead. Make your contributions or ask questions.
Yes. I'm 100% against. Yes, I said I'm 100% against the class of Boko Haram and the translation to unite them about when we say. So I'm 100% against the anti-Taliban. We cannot be let go of the public protest. And meanwhile, if the arrested you, let all of us support it. But the only fight for them, two other tribes are doing without it, say that we come and fight to come around. They are 100% for. And let all the platforms that we support to be as well as the best of the world will be the same and that will support the concept of the
all right, thank you, Dogara. You heard what he said. He said he's calling from Yola, and that is against what the presidency is doing, that everybody should go on protest and tell the government that what they're about doing is wrong.
What they're doing.
And there is also advised that even from Yola there, that everybody...
Home state of
that they should also... that Mr. P2B is the only person,
that can salvage the country.
Yes.
I'm not the only one. And you may be a PDP man also. I will come from Yola.
So he's calling from Yola. What would you say to the statement he made?
That's what I've been saying everywhere, even in this program before now, that P2B's project is no longer a P2B thing. If P2B says he's not contesting today, you will march to his house in on it. That is one house, the only house. He may be houseless. In the next, if he says it now, in the next 72 hours, he will live under the tree. He's no longer a P2B project. He's a Nigerian thing, because he's the only man that is talking hope. This other man is saying it is my turn. I'm busy going to fake bishops and reverend fathers with his Muslim tickets. The other one is busy here telling us that that his brother doesn't need an Igbo man or Yoruba man. They are battling with Wike and they are, still struggling with the party struggle, party structure. Has not even told us anything about what he's going to do for us. From day one, even when Peter Obi was still in PDP, he has told Nigerians what he is coming to do, with the example of what he did in Anambra. You know, you can't, we are saying that he is going to equity, must go with clear hands. Peter Obi has shown that high sense of morality. And without good moral standard, you can't be a good governor. You can't be a good president. You can't be a good administrator. So this man has shown Nigerian youths that are all running to Cotonou and Togo to go to school, that are all dying in the desert in a quest to look for greener pastures through the Mediterranean Sea down to Europe, dying there. The youths that are jobless, you know, everywhere, all the betting offices in Nigeria, the youths are filled there. If you see them packed with papers in their pockets, you will think they have some good cash with them. We wouldn't know that they are waiting for Chelsea and Arsenal. You know, Peter Obi is the only person that has given them that hope that if I am made president, I'll just touch here and there. It's not a rocket science. Just touch here and there. Fidelity, selflessness, reduce cost of governance. And at the end of the day, if everybody follows him, you know, to do so, the country will be salvaged, from the councillor to the president. That is what Peter Obi is bringing to the table, and he has told us. And that's why the man in Adamawa, seeing Peter Obi just saying it, his movement, his courage, makes you believe that this man can do this. But these other ones are battling with their bada and battling with their cap and all that. Very simple man carrying his bag. Do you need a suicide to tell you that if this man, you know, if we can get us 100% of what he has said, at least he will do 40. And anybody that scores 40 in an exam is going over to the next class. So that's why people from far north, a fellow Fulani man from Yola, Adamawa, is supporting Peter Obi. So I'm not the only one in this project. Everybody.
All right, wonderful viewers. I think we'll be drawing the curtain here for today, Nigeria Today. And keep watching Living TV even after that. From my far left is Ambassador Obihat. Thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you very much.
And Honorable Tony Abany, thank you for being here today.
I appreciate you will continue to do and say the right thing so that this country will move to the next level positively. Thank you.
All right, and this is your anchorman, Chineduma Diele. Remember, our program Issues of the Moment comes up on Friday. Keep watching Living TV. Thank you for being there.
Before we reach the promised land, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me which way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't inefficiency and indiscipline is ruining the country now. Corruption here, there, and everywhere. Inflation is soaring high. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh, sure, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? We met Nigeria. Amen.